Imagine becoming a pirate, climbing onto a stolen ship, and realizing the first thing you need is not a sword. It is not a treasure map. It is not even courage. It is a place to sleep before the ocean, the captain, or some screaming man with a bell ruins your life. Because a pirate ship had one brutal problem. It could never actually go to bed. In movies, pirate sleep looks almost fun. The captain has a candlelit cabin. The crew snores under the stars. One man hugs a bottle of rum like a pillow. The ship is dirty, but at least it looks free. Real life was much meaner. A pirate ship was not a floating bedroom with cannons attached. It was a cramped wooden machine that had to keep moving, steering, pumping, watching, and surviving every hour of the day. The ocean did not care if the crew was tired. The wind did not wait for breakfast. And an enemy sail did not come back later because everyone was having a nap. So the real question is not, where did pirates sleep? The better question is, how did anyone sleep on a ship that was trying to kill them all night? Picture one new pirate on his first evening at sea. He has heard the fantasy, freedom, treasure, no boss, no taxes, a life outside the rules. Then night falls and he goes looking for his bed. There is no bed, there is barely a room. Below deck the air is warm, wet, and heavy with bodies, rope, tar, old food, bilge water, and fear pretending to be bravery. Beams hang overhead, cannons sit nearby. Barrels are shoved into corners, sea chests, spare canvas, weapons, and tired men fight for the same few inches of ship. This is when he learns the first rule of sleeping at sea. A normal bed is a stupid idea on a floor that keeps moving. That is why sailors used hammocks. And a hammock was not just a beach chair with better marketing. At sea, it was survival design. It could be tied between beams. It used the empty air instead of the crowded floor. It could be rolled up during the day, so the same space could become a work area, a gun deck, a dining spot, or a path to run through when something went wrong. Most importantly, a hammock moved with the ship. Sleep on a hard wooden deck, and every wave tries to throw your spine into history. Sleep in a fixed bunk, and the ship rolls while your body argues with gravity. But a hammock swings. It follows the motion, not perfectly, not comfortably, by modern standards, but well enough that an exhausted sailor could pass out during bad weather instead of sliding across the deck like cargo. So yes, pirates probably slept in hammocks when they could. But that answer is too clean, because the hardest part was not the bed. It was the clock. A sailing ship cannot close for the night. Someone has to steer. Someone has to watch the sails. Someone has to listen for orders. Someone has to notice if the wind changes, if land appears, if a rope snaps, if water comes in, if a light shows on the horizon, or if the ship everyone is chasing suddenly becomes the ship chasing them. This is why ships used watches. The crew was divided into teams. One group worked while another tried to sleep. In many sailing traditions, watches were built around 4-hour blocks. 4 hours on, 4 hours off, then back again. That means a pirate's night was not one long sleep. It was sleep stolen in pieces. Our new pirate finally climbs into a hammock. For one magical second, he thinks he understands the system. The hammock lifts him off the filthy deck. The ship rocks. His body gives up. Maybe this is not so bad. Then the bell rings. His watch is called. Now he is awake, climbing into cold air, pulling ropes with hands that have not finished hurting from the last time he pulled ropes. And the man who was working above him gets the hammock space he just left. The ship breathes in, shifts. Half the crew becomes muscle. Half the crew becomes unconscious. Then they swap. This is why pirate sleep was not private. It was communal machinery. Your rest depended on someone else staying awake. If you failed, everyone paid. And pirate ships could make this even worse. A merchant ship might have a crew sized for its work. A naval ship might have stricter systems and officers enforcing them. A pirate ship was often a captured vessel packed with men who wanted prize money, not comfort. Pirates sometimes preferred large crews because boarding another ship required bodies. More bodies meant more fighters. It also meant more sweat, more hammocks, more arguments, more noise, and less space for everyone. Then add the fact that pirates did not always keep one perfect ship for years. They stole ships, they modified them, they packed them with guns, supplies, captured cargo, spare sails, stolen goods, and sometimes prisoners or force specialists. Your sleeping space could vanish because the crew took a prize, or because the captain wanted more guns, or because the sea decided the lower deck was now a swamp. There was also no real silence. Wood creaked, water slapped the hull, men coughed, feet pounded overhead, ropes groaned, rats explored the empire of crumbs. Someone snored like a dying cannon. Someone else was seasick. And above all of it, the ship kept talking in the language of things that might break. This is where the pirate fantasy starts to collapse. Pirates are remembered as rule breakers. But sleeping on a pirate ship required rules. Some pirate crews had articles, agreements that controlled behavior on board. One famous set associated with Bartholomew Roberts ordered lights and candles out at night. If men wanted to keep drinking after that, they had to do it on deck. That sounds like a tiny rule until you imagine the alternative. A drunk man, a candle, a wooden ship, tar, rope, powder, canvas, wind. Congratulations! Your pirate party is now a floating funeral. Night discipline was not about being boring. It was about not burning down the only thing keeping everyone out of the ocean. The captain might have had better quarters. Officers and specialists might have found slightly better corners. But for the ordinary pirate, sleep was not a right to comfort. It was a negotiated ceasefire between exhaustion and danger. And the strangest part is that the hammock may have been one of the few merciful things on the ship. It gave a tired body a small, swinging island. It made crowded sleeping possible. It let sailors disappear into a narrow strip of canvas and become, for a few hours, useless in a socially acceptable way. But the ship never slept. When one pirate dreamed, another watched the dark. When one man curled into canvas, another held the wheel. When one crew dropped into exhaustion, another scanned the horizon for profit, weather, or death. So how did pirates sleep? Not like kings, not like movie villains, not like men who had escaped civilization and found freedom. They slept like workers inside a dangerous machine, hanging from beams, packed beside each other, woken by bells, rocked by waves, protected by men who were just as tired as they were. And if our new pirate survived long enough, he probably stopped asking for comfort. He learned the real luxury of the sea. Not a feather bed, not a quiet room, not even a full night. Just a hammock, 4 hours, and the hope that when the bell rang again, the ship was still floating.